So in this section we'll look at our 10.5. We're on page 93 in your workbook. The volume is the amount it takes to fill up an object. So perimeter is the distance around the outside edge, area fills in a flat surface, and volume fills this up. So think of an aquarium or a swimming pool or a cup of tea or a bottle of water. Anytime you're filling something up, that is volume. A prism is a three-dimensional object that has flat sides. And the volume of a prism is the area of the base times the height. So let's look at this. We want to find the volume and the surface area of this prism. So let's do the volume first. This is a prism, so the volume is the area of the base times the height. Okay, so the base we can choose when it's a rectangular prism like this. We can choose to be any of the sides. Let's choose this end to be our base. So this side is 2, and this we have to find from over here is 4. So the area of that rectangle, because it's a rectangle, is base times height, right? So the area of this rectangle would be 2 times 4. And then the height of the prism is the distance between the base and the opposite base on this side. So the height for this prism is 9. So 2 times 4 is 8, times 9 is 72. And volume is measured in cubic units, in this case cubic inches. You could also write inches cubed if you want. So now let's talk about surface area. We won't do a lot with surface area, but I want you to understand what it is. So for surface area, we need to look at finding the area of each surface. So let's look over here. We already found that the height of this was 4. So this blue end over here, the area would be 2 times 4, which is 8. And the side opposite over here would also be 8. So now let's look at the top. We have 9 for this side of the rectangle. For this side of the rectangle would be the same as this right here, would be 2. So for the top we'd have 9 times 2, which is 18. And the bottom down here that we can't see would be the same size, so we'd have another 18. Now let's look at the front. The distance, this distance on the front would be 9, and this distance on the front is 4. So we'd have 9 times 4, which is 36. And along the back we'd have the same size piece. So the surface area wants us to add all of that together. So we'd have 8 plus 8 plus 18 plus 18 plus 36 plus 36, which is equal to 124. It is area, so it needs to be in square inches. Okay, here we're going to find the volume of the prism. So we need to find, in this case, because it's not rectangular, what the base is. And the base is the shape with 2 sides that are parallel to each other. So in this case it'd be the top and the bottom. So we need to find the area of those base. Remember that the shape of this base is a triangle, and that is 1/2 base times height. Now I sort of colored over it, but there's a right angle marking on the bottom here, and that would be the same on the top. So it's trying to tell us, remember that the base and the height meet at a right angle in a flat shape. So it's trying to tell us here that we're going to take 1/2 times 4 times 4. And that gives us an area of this base as 8. This will be the same. So remember that the volume is the area of the base times the height of the cylinder. So the height of the cylinder is the distance between the two bases. So these two red pieces are our bases. The distance between them is this 7. That's the height. So we're going to take 8 that we found of the triangle times 7, the height of the prism, and we get 56 cubic, and this is marked in feet. Okay, this is also a prism because we have this flat surface here that's parallel to the other side over here. And so if we try to find the volume of this, we need to find the volume, the area of the purple, that's our base, times the height. And the height would be the distance between those two. So this right here will be the height of our prism. We use a capital H for that. But now we need to find the area of this flat piece. Now this flat piece is a weird shape, so we need to cut a line across like we've done before. This is a rectangle with a width of 9 and a height of 5, so that would be 45. This right here is a trapezoid. This base is 9. This base up here tells us is 6.5. So for the blue piece, we need to take 9 plus 6.5, divide by 2, times the height. Now this part right here was 5, and that leaves this part here to be 8.25 minus 5, or 3.25. So if I take 9 plus 6.5 and then divide by 2, I get 7.75. I'm going to multiply that by 3.5. And that gives me the area of the trapezoid as 27.125. Now I really want the area of this whole piece, so I need to add those two together. 27.125 for this trapezoid plus 45 for this rectangle gives me 72.125. And that's the area of this base. And the height we said was 16, this distance between this flat surface and this flat surface. So I'm going to take 72.125 and multiply by 16, and I get 1,154 cubic units.